Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. Fashion icon, the one and only Leon Talley, joins us to talk about his incredible new book, The Retrospective of the one and only Oscar de la Renta. Make sure to check it out in bookstores everywhere. The one and only Leon Talley. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. Who better to talk about Oscar de la Renta, one of the great fashion icons of all time, than talking with one of the great fashion icons of all time, the one and only Leon Talley. You've put together an incredible book, 70 outfits, iconic outfits that Oscar de la Renta dressed some of the world's greatest people in, and you've brought the stories behind each outfit to life.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Talk to me about putting this book together and your good friend Oscar de la Renta.
Well, first of all, Oscar was a great friend, as you know, and immediately after his death, I decided to do this book. It just came to me organically. It fluidly came together as sitting in a room one day, and I said I want to do this book, and I went ahead and got permission from Alex Boland, the CEO of Oscar de la Renta, and I just got on the emails and the telephone. I basically did it all on email. I emailed his closest friends, his dearest friends, his wife, who is, of course, the muse for Mr. de la Renta, who has some of the best clothes in the world. Not only does she have the best Oscar de la Renta clothes, but she has the best Chanel clothes and the best clothes. She has been a best-dressed woman since the 70s. I, of course, got on the phone to Anna Wintour. I knew her wardrobe was full of de la Renta. Her daughter's wardrobe was full of de la Renta, B. Schaefer. I also remember very much Eliza Reed Boland's wedding. I went to that wedding, and I remember her wedding dress and the whole day. And I happened to have attended the last wedding that he ever made a dress for, which was Elizabeth Schaefer, Anna Wintour's daughter-in-law, and it was a beautiful dress. So it was quite easy for me to email these people and ask for their dresses. It was quite special because no one said no. And I would go to their homes. I would go to some of the homes. They would just open their closet doors and say, take whatever you want. And they were so thrilled to loan their dresses for this exhibit. They were absolutely amazed that I was putting it together. And they wanted to give because they loved Oscar. People really loved Oscar de la Renta. And this was a tribute to him of love. And it was conceived like a family album as the sort of memory or happy souvenir of the great moments of his life and the great moments in his career. Perhaps it's not a retrospective, but it is certainly a special look at Oscar de la Renta.
What is it that made Oscar so unique, his style and his design so unique?
Well, he was unique in the fact that, A, he was an American-born designer from the Dominican Republic, a citizen of America, but the world was his universe. He had the sophistication of a European designer. He studied in Madrid. He started in Madrid picking up pins. He went on to Paris and worked at Lanvin, Castillo, and then he came to New York and worked at Elizabeth Arden. So throughout his career, he had a distinct, sophisticated aesthetic towards fashion. He understood that the most important thing was to make a beautiful dress for a woman, not to make a dress that perhaps was the cutting edge or the avant-garde or a dress that you possibly couldn't wear that could look great in a photograph, one-dimensional, but a dress with a waist in the proper place, a bow at the proper place, a beautiful textured dress in embellishment and ornamentation, beautiful prints, beautiful fabrics, quality, understatement at the same time with overstatement. He knew how to balance that perfectly in a dress or a coat or a suit or a black evening gown. He could go over the top. I remember one of my favorite dresses is a storm dress, a black tulle, which is about 110 yards, a black tulle made into a strapless ball gown. It's just a storm of tulle. But at the same time, he made extraordinary, simple tweed coats that the first ladies could really impact. They resonated. They spoke or responded to his clothes. They responded to his fabrics. What made him unique was that he could dress Laura Bush as well as Nancy Reagan, as well as Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton actually went through 2 administrations of the White House as First Lady wearing solely almost Oscar de la Renta. And she went through Secretary of State wearing mostly Oscar de la Renta. She single-handedly was a great poster lady for his clothes. But Laura Bush was also an extraordinary example of what beautiful clothes he could make. In the Bush Library, there are 54 examples. I may not be accurate, but I was very mesmerized by the some 54 or more examples that she had donated to the Bush Library of the clothes that she'd worn by Oscar de la Renta, which was so extraordinary because she wore her clothes often over again. She sometimes wore them 2 times or 3 times. She once wore a navy blue silk dress for a portrait by Annie Leibovitz for Vogue. She then wore that dress to the state dinner. She wore it to 2 state dinners. She often wore that dress to be painted in the official White House portrait. So when you get the dress, it also lists the dates that the First Lady wore these clothes. And she wore that navy blue dress at least 3 times to official functions, which shows how much she liked it. And he was so versatile in what he made for her. Her beautiful white coat for the second inaugural, white cashmere, is just perfect. It's a perfect white, understated wool coat with a matching dress underneath is extraordinary. The gold lace skirt and top he made for her that she also wore to a state dinner, where she thanked him for this beautiful dress. She enjoyed wearing it. And then she wore it again at the White House Christmas tree. The extraordinary tweed suits and dresses and day dresses. At the same time, I was impressed because he could dress everyone, from Beyonce to Sarah Jessica Parker to the socialite, to Ivanka Trump. He could make a dress for Beyonce. He could make a dress that responded to Nicole Kidman, which we have an exhibit, as well as to Diana Taylor, the partner of former Mayor Bloomberg, who had an extraordinary wardrobe of Oscars. And we have a dress of hers where Nicole and she are wearing the same dress. It's a strapless dress. It's a strapless embroidered dress, and you would think that this would be a dress that Nicole Kidman would, totally pick for the red carpet. But here's Diana Taylor, a woman of a certain lifestyle, who's wearing this out.
Who was he on a personal level? Obviously, we know in 2014 when he passed away, the loss to the fashion world.
Yes.
But what was the loss on a personal level for people like you, for Anna, for the fashion elite who were friends with him?
Well, it was a great loss. Oscar was a great friend. He was the kind of man that created standards that you wanted to rise up to. If you tried to meet them and you tried to rise to them, if not above them, you certainly, when you were in the presence of Oscar, you rose to a certain standard. He was a great man of great generosity, great humility, a great humor, great sense of humor. He was terribly generous with his time and his knowledge and sharing. He also was completely entertaining in terms of the world of fashion before, today, and yesterday. He knew everything that you wanted to know about fashion when fashion meant something with a capital F. So he had all sorts of anecdotes about fashion. He also very much had an opinion about fashion as of today. He had also an opinion about fashion for tomorrow, for the future. He was very opinionated and very, very, at the same time, humble. He was absolutely passionate about gardening, passionate about interiors, passionate about cooking. He organized beautiful meals, and he loved music. He loved opera. He loved Julio Iglesias. He loved singing. He loved dancing. He was the best dancer. No one could do the merengue like he could do the merengue. He had incredible shoes and elegance of deportment, elegance of manners, quality and manners, and everything that matters, what I call the good values, the old-fashioned verités, the old-fashioned values. He had ultimate manners. He knew how to write thank you notes, send flowers. He constantly thought of people. He constantly thought about you, and he would let you know he was thinking about you. Why haven't you called me? Why haven't you called me? Well, you don't call me anymore. I'm not your favorite. You don't call me. Which made you put you on the defensive because you haven't called. Why haven't you called me? Why haven't you called me? Do you not receive your calls? Do you not take your messages? Do I have to get you an answer machine? And I say that with total references to him as I miss him, trying to imitate. I couldn't imitate his voice, but I just adored Oscar. I adored going to visit him in his home in Kent, Connecticut. I absolutely adored that he created a garden there over 4 decades, which is one of the most magnificent gardens in America. I adored that you could go there and suddenly If you spent like a day there quietly, after lunch you might find him in the kitchen playing checkers with the staff. It's one of his great pastimes. I adored going to his houses in the Dominican Republic, where he would take me up in the woods and there'd be a waterfall, and he would swim in the waterfall. And I was just totally impressed with that he would swim in this waterfall. Who knew what bugs or what
Parasites.
what critters were lurking in the waterfall? Did I swim in the waterfall? No, I sat on the rock. But he was also quite at home in the grandest of rooms and settings. He could be in the rooms with royalty, with the Queen Sophia of Spain, receiving medals, or he could be in the room with the First Lady, or he could be at the White House dinner, or he could be at home in jeans and a sweater, having hamburgers and cream spinach on a Saturday night in Connecticut.
You'd mentioned the words fashion of tomorrow.
Yes.
Where do you see fashion going right now? When I think of fashion, I think of Front Row, Leon Talley, Anna Wintour. I think of these icons, and now we're seeing bloggers, and we're seeing a different world of fashion. What are your thoughts moving forward?
Well, fashion is for today is the world of instant gratification. Therefore, you are seeing people, they're tuned in not to each other, but as people are waiting for a fashion show to begin, perhaps, they're tuned into their technology. They're tuned into their smartphones, iPhones. They're tuned into their laptops. They are Instagramming, Twittering. Everything is fast. We digest so much information that is so incredible that everyone is a part of the actual moment when fashion has happened, because now fashion is streamed live. The Givenchy show is live streamed as it's happening. Yep. So it's right there in your face. And I think that the future of fashion is fantastic, as is the future of the politics and the culture of politics. Everything is so immediate. The moment that someone makes news, it's on the news. The news is at your fingertips as it happens. The pulse is never too fast. It's never too fast. You're right up to speed, and fashion has to be up to speed. Fashion has to catch up with technology, innovation. It has to catch up with the fabrics that are sustaining fabrics, which has been very important. A movement of sustainability. It's extremely important, I think, for the future, that they create fabrics that are sustainable, and there's a sense of green in the fashion world. And the fashion world has to step up to its times. And I think that's where fashion is going. I think that it's great that there are all these digital people out there, these posts, and you can instantly Instagram something and it's right there. You can be on the front row, and Beyonce can be Instagramming her selfie as the moment the fashion show happens. As the moment the fashion is actually happening, she must Instagram it to her followers. Kim Kardashian, 42 million followers.
Incredible.
Go figure, you know?
Speaking of Kim Kardashian, Kanye just received the Vanguard Award at the MTV.
Yes.
I'm dying to know your thoughts. His speech obviously made headlines all around the world. What are your thoughts?
I think it's exciting. I think if he wants to run for president in 2020, I am very proud of him. I am very proud to know him. I hope that he's serious about it. I think if Donald Trump can run, he is absolutely can run for president. I thought it was amazing. I think he is kind of the future, the prophet of the future is Kanye West. I thought he handled it brilliantly the way he handled it. At the end of the VMA Awards, he didn't go up to the VMA Awards. He went in a simple t-shirt and khaki pants. It's if he stepped off, it's like your cameraman. He simply stepped off the job. And by the way, he said, I'm running for president. I think it's very cool. I think it's exciting.
Another thing I think is cool is I just read in Variety last night, you're in the first episode of the biggest show in town.
How exciting is this?
That's got to be so cool. Walk me through being an
How?
Empire.
A Variety?
It was. It's all the trades of his.
Is it a Variety? Do you have the paper here, or did you read it online? I can't wait to go read it.
I haven't held a paper, Andre, in like 10 years.
Oh my God.
It was online. It's hit all the trades. You're in the first episode. How cool
I am
is that?
in the first episode. Oh, I waited for the call. I was waiting for the call for years for Lee Daniels. I was waiting for the call. I heard Jane Fonda on TV said, I'm waiting for that call for Lee Daniels to be on the Empire. I know that people want to be on the Empire and go in a cameo. I have been waiting for that call since Precious. Lee Daniels came to audition for me at Vogue. Anna was in the room, and I had Anna in the room, and we just spoke about that. And I said, Anna, you've got to see this is stills that Lee Daniels did this film called Precious. I had read the screenplay, and I was taken away by Precious. This was how many years ago? 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So he came into Vogue, and we sat down, Anna and Lee put up the rushes or whatever it was of Precious. And she looked at a watch, and the code was, looking at the watch, she looked at the watch, time to go. Okay, Lee, out of here. And so I went back to the office, and Anna said, Andre, it's not a fit for you. And I said, okay, I ate the crow. And since then, I have been waiting for Lee to call me. So one night early this summer, the phone rang on a Thursday night. Andre, I need you on the set. I was half asleep. I said, is this a prank? Are you pranking me? Is this a joke? And I need you on the set. I need you on the set. When? When do you want me on the set? My office will organize it. They'll call you. Just get on the set. All I need you to do is get on the set. Say yes. I said, of course, I'll do anything for you, Lee. And I said, what do you want me to be? He said, I want you to be on the set, and I want you to have the mystique of Jackie O. How could I have the mystique of Jackie Onassis? What am I supposed to do? Go out and get a drag, get a wig, get big glasses? I had to interpret the mystique of Jackie Onassis on my own cognizance, on my own references. I had to mystique Jackie O. I kept thinking, Jackie O, what does he mean? And then I kept going back to pictures of Jackie O. Big glasses, so I got big wraparound glasses. And you know, Jackie O was like the Mona Lisa. Her smile was like the smile of Mona Lisa. She smiled, but she didn't smile. She was serious, but you never knew what she was thinking. That was the mystery. So I did that. And I got to the set, and I got up at 4:30 in the morning, and I had my makeup done, and I went on the set at 5:30, and I sat down, and I was nervously waiting for Lee, and Lee said, oh, it's great. And I was so thrilled. And I came off the set, and I said, Lee, did I do okay? What you wanted? You were brilliant. Lee, can I come back? I kept saying, I want to be like Naomi Campbell.
You need a role.
I wanted to come back. It was so exciting. I was so proud to work with Lee Daniels. I'm so thrilled.
Were you a fan of the show? Did you already
Yes.
know the explosion that it created?
I was a big fan of Cookie.
She's the best. Taraji's
Cookie is the best. I was a big fan of Cookie. Big fan of Cookie. I wasn't so big a fan of Terrence. His role is not the role that I, respond to. But I love Cookie. I love Cookie and her drama.
And her fashion.
And her fashion.
Your fashion. When you look at television right now, movies,
There
television.
is no fashion. There is no fashion.
There is no fashion,
and
right?
the fashion is very straight on in Empire. It's going to be really hot this season. It's really forward, and it's fun. And the music and the fashion, it's all fun. It's all very good. Not since Dynasty have we had a series like this.
Well, and I've talked to Lee, I've talked to Danny Strong, his co-creator, and Dynasty was very big in factoring into the development of Empire. So I think they wanted that old world.
I don't know if it's really inspired by King Lear, Shakespeare, or what, but I think not since Dynasty that people listen. It's a breakout for Fox.
It is. It's a breakout. It's changed television.
It's changed television. It's changed television. I'm very excited about season 2.
Speaking of change, Caitlyn Jenner, talk about
Yes.
the world is changing
Yes.
right now, and she is at the forefront. Talk to me about your thoughts, where we're going.
I think Caitlyn Jenner is an extraordinary role model and a heroine. I think Caitlyn, she is extraordinary, that she took the courage to go through this evolution in her life at the age she is, and to do what she did took a great amount of courage. To have to be that extraordinary and to go through the whole process of transgendering at the age of 65.
Incredible.
You know, she was 65, and she said she didn't want to do this. She can go to her deathbed and not having done this. I think that it not because of the Vanity Fair cover, but because of just the courage to take to be who you are and to show that you can be a loving person, that you can be a wonderful person and transgender. She's a role model. She'll give such much inspiration to so many people, to so many gay people, and to so many transgendered people. I love the idea of Laverne Cox.
She's the best.
Laverne Cox is a super smart and super brilliant super brilliant. In Grandma, she is outstanding.
Isn't that a great movie?
It's a great movie. I absolutely hope that the Grandma gets. Lily Tomlin is the best. I watched that movie and it was just extraordinary. A grandma who helps her granddaughter go through a day in the life of an abortion, to find money to raise money for an abortion, ending up with her mother finally paying for the abortion, ending up with the reconciliation of the family as a unit, the mother, the grandmother, who they have been estranged, the whole thing, and to go back into time and to her former boyfriend, and then she goes and she makes up with her girlfriend. It's a quiet comedy. It's just amazing. And Laverne plays a tattoo artist in that, but she's just perfect. It's pitch perfect. She's a pitch perfect because she's super smart, super intelligent about what she does. And I think that's what's great about her.
When you look around, you'd mentioned Laverne. We talk about Caitlyn. I know Laverne, and one of the coolest, nicest people on the
You
planet.
know, I remember you now. You were wearing jeans before.
I was in a T-shirt.
just
You
a
actually
jeans,
referred me. You
that's
called me
right.
James Dean back then,
Yes,
and
you're not
we were just
jeans, you're
reminiscing
jeans
about
now.
that. I'm always in
And
jeans.
now I've seen you. It comes to me now. It doesn't go face. Go on.
I'm always in jeans because we shoot from the waist up. So I'm
Yes,
like, I
yes,
hate.
yes,
I'm like,
yes.
I can't do the suit pants.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Fashion Week's coming up. You were just telling me you're gonna be. How
Oh.
crazy is it for you? What is the world of Andre Leon Talley like? during
Well,
Fashion
it's
Week?
extraordinary. I'm going to hope I have the energy. I've got to do the Rizzoli windows, which is a new gig. I do the Rizzoli windows. I'm doing a special one. I did the first one for the new bookstore on Broadway, and I did the first one, which stayed up for a month. I'm doing a special one on Manolo Blahnik, and then I've got to put in the window for the Oscar de la Renta book, which the launch is on the 15th of September. The book party is on the 23rd. Before that, I've got to go to Givenchy. The Givenchy show is coming from Paris. 4,000 people down on some river on the side, on the east side, at sunset, open air, I think, 4,000 people plus. I'm just concentrating on that. I've got to go to public school, I've got to go to Pro Bowl, and I've got to go to the U.S. Open for Serena Williams.
can't wait.
And I've got to go to the U.S. Open to see Serena. After she wins, hopefully, she's on her way, I've got to see her launch her collection, her fashion collection.
Do you think that being away from Lincoln Center is a good thing?
I think it's always a good thing for change. I think that the change is going to be very positive. I think that people are going to find excitement in rushing around town, up and down, hither and yon, hell's skelter, hell's to the wheels, hell's, mells, bells, everything, whistles blowing, fire engines going, cars just dashing about.
You've written books on everything.
Yeah.
Oscars now, you've done ALT, you've done The Little Black Dress. What's next for you?
Well, I would say that I am working on a memoir. But listen, I got to really tell you what I'm focusing on is Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels, I'm focused on whatever he wants me to do. But I would love to do a memoir. I would love to also, I'm working on a retrospective collection exhibit at the De Young Museum in San Francisco, which opens in February, which is definitive Oscar de la Renta retrospective, 155 pieces, maybe 130 by the time we edit. But that's very much in the works. We've already put on the foundation for that, and it's going to be opening, and they're very excited. We just unearthed some beautiful Chinese vases for it, just to go in the backdrop. We got the dresses. We're waiting for the museum to tell us they know. So I'm looking forward to Lee Daniels. I'm banking. I'll put him on the eggs.
Isn't he?
I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. Lee Daniels, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. He's got some things up the sleeves for me. He said, I'm working on a project for you. And I said, I don't even ask. I don't even want to call him. I don't want to even bother him because I trusted him. I waited for the phone call and it came. That's the one thing I've done this summer was Empire. It's the one thing that was my summer was based on that one weekend to Chicago. And then I came back and my summer was set.
When you look around young designers, we're seeing a new wave coming in. Who do you see being the next Oscar de la Renta, the next great wave of one or two or three designers who you think are going to redefine fashion?
I think Peter Coping is doing a great job at Oscar de la Renta. I think he was the right fit for Oscar before Mr. de la Renta passed away. I think he's doing great work. I think that the future was in Riccardo Tisci, who has somehow put his pulse on fashion the way Gianni Versace did. Mr. Tisci has absolutely put his pulse on dressing the celebrities. Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, her wedding dress was made by Riccardo. And Riccardo has a sense of doing a fashion show where it's a bigger event than just a fashion show. I think that Marc Jacobs is really Prabal Gurun. Marc Jacobs is what you may say an established designer, but he's always the future. Whatever he does, his focus is very big, very big. And Nicolas Guesquier at Louis Vuitton, very big. At the same time, Michael Kors is not going to go away anytime soon. Michael Kors is close to a billionaire. I see more people walking the streets with MK bags than I've ever seen. I actually see MK bags in Westchester County. I see servers at restaurants with MK bags. I see soccer moms with MK bags and soccer moms with MK shoes. And I see Michael Kors all over the place. It used to be that I saw Celine totes, but I see people with MK. And there's an MK store right around the corner.
All I can say is Lee Daniels, please give him some kind of show. That's all. Lee, please. Lee's one of the nicest guys. I just interviewed him.
One of the greatest guys.
Genius, and it's incredible to see.
Marvelous.
Incredible to see. I hope somehow
I
you
think
guys.
you'll be surprised because I went in just like blind, and I thought positive, and I will do whatever he says. And he's brilliant in directing because, I had a script. And I was studying the script like frantically. I arrived, and the script was on my desk in the hotel room, confidentially, and I'm reading the script and rehearsing the script, and I'm ready, and then I get on the set. He looks at me, he changes the whole thing. He looks at me the way I'm dressed. I says, now you're the, I said, what? And I said, can I stand like this? No. Can I do this? No. Can I do this? No. Well, can I stand this way? No. Can I walk over here? Can I hug him? No. Everything he said no to, by the time he said the fifth no, I said, okay, listen to him. So I listened to whatever he wanted me to do, and I tried to do it.
Andre, you're one of a
Well,
kind.
Arthur, thank you.